Welcome, Minister Sangin, to WSIS and to T-Tech Talk. Thank you for talking to us for a few minutes. We have a few questions.
Okay.
Just to start with, can you brief us through what's the state of the ICT sector in Afghanistan today?
Thank you. As you know, 10 years ago, the status of ICT in Afghanistan was zero. It meant there was no infrastructure, no ICT at all. The people of Afghanistan had to go to the neighboring countries to make a phone call. Of course, it was a challenge for the government to start from such status. In addition to that, in Afghanistan, of course, you know, the human capacity at that time was also very, very low. And the financing was not there, no funds available for the government. So, because of these challenges, the Ministry of Communication and Information Technology made up a policy, which was a policy based on best global practices. And the main point of the policy was to enable the environment for private sector investment.
Okay.
And not only just on paper, but in real life, in action. And due to this vision and policy of the government, Afghanistan was lucky enough to be able to attract big companies to come and invest in Afghanistan, such as MTN, such as Etisalat, Afghan Wireless, Roshan, and of course a government-owned company, Afghan Telecom. So today we have 5 major telecom operators and more than 40 internet service providers in the country. And overall, more than $2 billion of investment has been made in the ICT sector. Today we have coverage of more than 85% of the population and almost 20 million mobile phones in the country.
What we want to know is what this progress that has been made, how this will be sustained and continue it in the next 5 years. Do you have a plan that you can share with us?
Yes, of course. Our progress is based not so much on donor funding, but actually on private sector investment.
Okay.
So we are sure that it will continue in the future also. And what I can tell you is that we want to move forward. The work is not finished, only we have made a good start. Our feeling is that the last 10 years was a period of mobile revolution in Afghanistan. So we feel, we expect that the next 5 years will be a revolution in the ICT. That means internet in computers, use of information technology. Why do we feel like that? Well, we think that the groundwork has been done. The infrastructure required is in place and the society is ready for it. As you know, Afghanistan is a landlocked country, and we were dependent on our connectivity to the rest of the world on satellite. And satellite-based connectivity, you know, is very expensive, between $3,000 to $5,000 per month per megabit. But we had the vision for the future of Afghanistan, and due to that vision, we actually started building optical fiber in Afghanistan 5 years ago. And despite the insurgency and the insecurity in our country, major populated areas of Afghanistan are already connected via the optical fiber. And Afghanistan at the same time is connected to our neighboring countries like Pakistan in 2 places, Peshawar and Quetta, and Tajikistan we are connected to, Uzbekistan in Iran.
So this connects the major cities in Afghanistan?
Major cities in Afghanistan are also connected. And what this really did for us is to bring down the internet price. You see, up to now in Afghanistan, very few people could afford internet due to the high price. So our strategy is to make internet available to the masses, to all the people. And to be able to do that, the first thing is to bring down the price. And I can tell you that due to this optical fiber, now the price of 1 megabit per month at the border of Afghanistan has dropped to $60.
That's
$60.
amazing. Okay.
So actually this now makes us feel confident that the price factor is now no longer a problem. Price is affordable for the majority of the people, but I believe that it will drop further. It doesn't mean it has to stay there. There will be further drop. So price is not going to be the problem.
So with this price drops and
Yes.
internet becoming more affordable,
Yeah.
this will open the market in Afghanistan to other businesses. Do you see things like outsourcing of businesses
Yes,
such
I
as...
want to come to that.
Okay.
But before that, you see, to make the broadband available to the people, we have the optical fiber backbone. The price is cheap. How do you get it to the people?
Yes.
So that's the access part. And even there, we have taken action. Afghanistan is one of the first country in the region to start 3G services.
Yeah.
3G services already started in Kabul, and they are going to spread in the next 2 years, I think, to most of the populated areas. So the main vehicle for getting the internet from the backbone to the people will be 3G. Probably some WiMAX internet service provider will have
so it's gonna be
WiMAX
wireless.
licenses, but mostly wireless.
Okay.
We have already some ADSL, but that's limited only to a few cities. So most of the access part of the network will be wireless.
Okay.
So what it means is that in the next 2 years we see most of Afghan people having access to broadband, and I think this is our highest. This will be one of our highest goals to achieve, and I'm confident that we are going to achieve this. And this, I think, will transform the society. The young generation getting access to ICT. You can imagine what possibilities will be open up for them in terms of education, in terms of learning.
And
yes.
Okay.
And also it will have effect in the health sector. For example, we can have hospitals, telemedicines,
Okay.
higher educations, universities, all the students having access to internet and the research papers from around the world. You can imagine how much value will that have. So I see a real change in the society from the current situation to becoming, for Afghanistan, to becoming an information society. So our vision for the next 5 years is transforming Afghanistan into the information society.
Excellent.
Coming to your question about the other possibilities, yes. You see, one of the important aspects of the investments in the telecom sector is job creation. In Afghanistan, one of the important priority for the government is to be able to offer jobs to the people. So far, I think one of the successful sector where there has been most job creation is the telecom sector, the ICT sector. Okay. We believe that more than 100,000 people have now jobs within the ICT sector. These are people working for the telecom companies, for the internet companies, young engineers started their own companies doing ICT work, doing IT, opened up IT companies. We have sales agents, we have mobile shops selling mobile phones, we have internet cafes. All this is actually good jobs. We believe that it means that in our country 100,000 families, because of the ICT sector development, have good life now. And we believe that
direct and indirect jobs.
Direct and indirect.
Okay.
But coming to your question now is, how do we look upon the future? We believe that the ICT will open up opportunities in new areas for Afghanistan. You see, we have 8 million young students going in schools and hundreds of thousands studying in the universities. So the question is, what happens in a few years' time in Afghanistan? What will all these people do? I believe that ICT can find jobs for some of them, work for some of them. How? Well, you see, if they are educated, they know English language, they know ICT, they know computers. I am thinking of bringing work to Afghanistan. If the young people of Afghanistan cannot go abroad for work, why not bring the work to Afghanistan? And this could be, as you said, the business process outsourcing and software developments and maybe establishing call center businesses, because Afghan people have a good accent as far as English language is concerned. So I'm optimistic that I think in this area we are going to be able to use the model of other countries such as India, Philippines, Indonesia, and other countries, and use that model in Afghanistan and create new jobs for the people. So I think ICT will be the leading sector in Afghanistan, contributing not only to jobs and transforming the society, but also helping people in all aspects of their life, and in the governance, for example, which is very important. Let me mention to you that Afghanistan is again one of the first country in the region which have started in a very ambitious project of producing an electronic ID card. This is one of the first in the region, a very advanced system based on biometric and scan of the eye, and which will be a very secured system. Currently Afghanistan has a huge problem because of lack of proper identity, but this new electronic ID card will actually form the basis for all future e-government programs. Okay. So this project is now on the way. We believe that in 6 to 8 months it will be ready and for issuing the first electronic ID card. Excellent. To our population.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Just to bring the point to, when creating an information society, just like the vision the Ministry of Communications and IT have in Afghanistan, it requires a level of internet security, because the data needs to be secure, and the same applies. Yes. To these digital data ID cards. How do you foresee that happening? Do you have mechanisms in place to secure?
That's very important. The National Data Center built in Afghanistan is state-of-the-art center. Already it has sophisticated firewalls, and measures have been taken so that it is secure. But it's not enough. I think we in the Ministry of Communication and Information Technology, through the ICT department, we have started taking actions to make a full assessment of the ICT security in our country and see where are the weaknesses, because we know that up to now ICT was okay there, but not in full scale. But once you have ICT in full scale, I think it's very important that when the government and the society is dependent on ICT, to make sure that it is there 24/7, it's available all the time, that it is secure, and that people can rely on it, that people can trust it. So that is very important question, and we are going to pay attention to that aspect of the ICT.
I have one more question, and that's
Yes.
about the .f, the top level domain Afghanistan has .f.
Yes.
It's not open to public. You can only register a domain name if you are a registered NGO or a registered company in Afghanistan. Do you see that being open to public in the near future, or what are the reasons for it being locked down?
To tell you the truth, I was not aware that there was such a limitation. There shouldn't be such a limitation. I will talk with my organization, and I promise you that this will be removed. We don't want to have any limitation. Anybody should be able to get in, even a private person should be able to have his own website. Why not? And register a domain. We will do this, and this is absolutely required. This is a resource. Yes. It is there. Why do you want to limit it? There is no reason.
Thank you. Just to recap, we started talking about the fiber optics project. You mentioned that it has reached most major cities, and through there it will be disseminated through wireless, that
Yes.
is 3G and maybe perhaps WiMAX. You're also working on a satellite, hopefully in the next 5 years.
Yes.
We saw the news that it will be launched. How will that affect? How will that improve the situation of the internet?
As you know, normally the ground-based systems such as microwaves and optical fiber, they are not going to reach all the villages and all the people.
Yeah.
There will always be some areas which are not connected because the optical fiber is not there. It's practically, from the economical point of view, a very difficult task to achieve. So for that reason, the rural areas, the villages, the valleys between the mountains, for those areas whether it is the TV, whether it's the radio, whether it is the internet connectivity, broadband, whether it is phone need of these people. We believe for that we need a satellite based solution. Afghanistan has its own satellite spot in the orbit. It has been there for many years, and we feel that now is the right time to start taking action on that project. We have started the process. We are looking for a good partner who have experience in the financial strength to work with us to put up a satellite in that spot, use the frequency rights of Afghanistan, and through this project we are hoping to bring TV and broadband connectivity to the villages in the rural areas of Afghanistan. Not only that, we hope that in this solution we could get a solution which can bring Afghan TV in media through the satellite, not only to Afghan population but to neighboring countries in the region, because as you know, many Afghans are living outside Afghanistan. So it will be good if we can get our TV covering those areas so that all Afghans have access to the Afghan media and get to know about what's happening in their country.
A lot of Afghans, like you mentioned, get their internet through satellites. Now, when the Afghan satellite, the ministry's own satellite, is launched, will they still be allowed to go to these competing satellite providers, or will they have to get their internet through the Afghan satellite?
I think most of the current satellite based internet companies, they will move into the optical fiber, because that's much cheaper. So there is no need for them to stay on the satellite based solutions.
Yes.
I can see that in the next 1 year most of them moving into the optical fiber. But for rural areas, of course, it's a question of competition.
Yeah.
Afghanistan own satellite, we believe, will be cheaper. So we believe that most companies, if they want to use satellite based solution for the rural areas, once we have our own satellite, then I believe they will take that, because
but they will not be forced to.
They will no. We never force anybody for anything.
Okay, that's
it is a competition. Everything should be based on commercial competition. We should offer benefits to the people. We should see that they are attracted to the solution and they see some benefits in that. Forcing people, that is not our method of doing work.
There is a lot of talk around e-governance. How ready is Afghanistan, both technically and culturally, for a system like that?
I think technically we are more or less ready, but culturally is the problem, as you said. Capacity is the main issue. The current people working within the government, they are not really familiar with ICT. They like to write by hands, the paper. I think it's a question of time. The new generation, the young people coming into the government, they are more ready, they are more anxious to use ICT. So I think as time goes by, the Afghan government, the civil servants will be more and more ready to use the ICT, and that means we are more ready to implement more e-government solutions. But we have already started. As I mentioned, the electronic ID card will form the basis. Based on that, in that solution already we have driver license as part of that solution.
Okay.
So we will be having driver license built into the EID. We will be having vehicle registration, which is a tremendous complicated process today, but through this solution it will become very convenient. And we have voter registration, which is for the election very useful. So already 3 e-government solutions are built into the EID. But as you know, once the EID is there, we believe that we will have more young people in the government, and we should be able to make e-government solutions more and more available. It could be like having interactive portals for the ministries, so that people don't have to go to the government. They can download forms, make applications, get government services online, pay their bills, the electricity bill, other bills. So these are some of the things which are done in many countries. Why not Afghanistan?
Yeah.
I'm sure it will be done, but I think we are going to see a tremendous development within the next 5 years in those areas. And what we also are looking for is innovation from the young generation. There will be innovation. They will come up with new application, new uses, and I think there will be a revolution. There will be a revolution in this area. Young people coming. Another e-government solution we already have in place is mobile money, for example. Afghanistan don't have so many banks across the country. So how do you get salaries to the police, to the teachers teaching in remote villages? Actually, already through mobile phones, we are able to transfer money and send salaries to these people in rural areas. So that's already one good e-government solution. But I think the limitation is only in our imagination. The young people, without that limitation in their imagination, will come up with a variety of solutions which will be useful in agriculture, in health, in education, in commerce, in trade, in other areas.
So you're hoping that the platforms you open and the foundations you lay will be taken up by the younger generation to come up with developmental apps for to use these, whether it's 3G or any other services.
That's what we want. We are working on ICT village to have an ICT village. In there we are planning to have incubators, and we want to give opportunity for young people to come there and do ICT innovations and applications. So I think the ICT, the young people, 5-year kids, you give them a mobile phone in their hands, within one day they are able to do more with it than I have been able to do. Yes, this without even telling him what this is or how to work with it. They learn it by themselves.
True. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.